first one I wanted to cover was this speech from the New York Fed's president, and that's John Williams. So yeah, go to the next slide, please, Chris. This was a speech that he gave on Monday, and this is a transcript of his prepared remarks. So it was written before the UN stuff came out. It was written before the OPEC stuff came out. So this is kind of what they were thinking maybe this weekend or last week. And so I wanted to go through this a little bit here today. If you go to the next slide. The big thing I wanted to talk about is how they're defining inflation. I thought this was a crazy way to define inflation. So let's go through this. Williams here calls this the inflation onion. The sources of high inflation are many and complex. Okay. First, right off the bat, shouldn't it be money printing? I mean, that's pretty simple. It's many and complex. Okay. Well, that should trigger your thinking. Okay. He's talking about stuff other than money printing. He's talking about macro stuff, right? So let's continue. They are stretched and they stretch across the globe. Nearly all economies are experiencing unusually high rates of inflation. To better understand how that happened and what it portends, it is useful to think of inflation in terms of three distinct layers of an onion. In this analogy, the onion's outer layer consists of prices of globally traded commodities such as lumber, steel, grains, and oil. They have experienced a surge in demand as the global economy has rebounded from the pandemic downturn. So I'll add in here that people typically think of the commodity prices as the base layer of other prices. And he's saying that commodity prices are just the superficial outside layer of this onion. So I don't know if this is kind of a subtle dig at people saying that they're not looking deep enough into the sources of inflation, but let's continue reading here. In addition, Russia's war in Ukraine and resulting actions have caused energy prices to soar. Well, at least he includes resulting actions because it's actually the sanctions that are causing energy prices to soar. These higher costs get passed on as higher prices for consumers. I am sure everyone in this room has been forced to manage skyrocketing costs on important supplies over the past 2 years. Okay, now we get into the middle layer here. The middle layer of the inflation onion is made up of products, especially durable goods like appliances, furniture, and autos that have been affected by severe supply chain disruptions. So first layer, commodities. Second layer, products, durable goods. Nothing yet about money printing. Have you noticed that? In his inflation onion, the first two layers, nothing about money printing. It's got to be somewhere, right? So let's keep reading. This imbalance, I'm going to the next paragraph here. This imbalance between supply and demand has contributed to large price increases. To give some examples, prices for furniture rose over 13% last year. New cars were up nearly 12%, and used vehicles skyrocketed an astonishing 50%. The innermost layer of the onion consists of underlying inflation. Oh my God, that is amazing. So you're saying that inflation underlies inflation. That is a great definition, Fed president. What the hell? At the root of everything, at the bottom of this inflation stack is inflation. There's no talk about money printing whatsoever. It's so confused in my mind. Like, what are they even talking about here? Almost done here, which reflects the overall balance between supply and demand in the economy. Oh man, so supply and demand affects prices, which underlies prices. It's just so crazy. So I'm going to stop there. CK, any reaction to those definitions there?
Yeah, I mean, this is what's wrong with our current monetary regime, is that even the high priests of the monetary regime don't even know what the fuck is happening. They don't. And that's the whole issue, is that it is an opaque system that no one can actually use to effectively allocate capital. So this is why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin makes it so that anyone with even a smartphone can effectively validate and audit the entire thing. So it's like, people are like, where's Bitcoin 1,000x, 100x better than the existing system? Like, it's an infinity better. It's like something that no one understands to something that anyone can understand. So